Hello, everyone. Welcome to Banter Blitz. It's August 2018, and this is the final Banter Blitz that I'm going to do here for ICC. So, welcome to the big finale. It's been quite a ride. I think we'll talk a little bit about it in the show, but Banter Blitz, a fantastic creation by ICC. But this is it. This is the last one. So, I'm going to try and play as swashbucklingly as I can. Out of respect for the format and for what's been a great ride. We've got plenty of regulars who are around today as well to play, so I'm looking forward to that. I'll wax lyrical a little bit later, but let's get straight into the chess. So first game is already up and running. It's against Lionel Spoon, and I think in honor of what is supposed to be an attacking and aggressive style for today, I'm going to play one of the most famous, the most aggressive openings in chess, the King's Indian, played by pretty much every world chess champion ever, I think. My opponent's gone for the very popular fianchetto variation. I never know how to pronounce it. I'm sure my Italian friend will tell me if I got that wrong. And I've gone for a kind of an unusual setup here. There are so many ways to play against the fianchetto variation. I've gone for the d6, c6, queen h5 setup, which is, to be honest, not that good. I think it's better for black to actually try to take the challenge to white's pawn center early on. The most popular way to play is with not the pawn on c6, but knight c6, a6, rook b8, and then to play b5. To hit the pawn on c4. Another way is knight c6 and bishop f5 to prevent. What am I saying? What is that move? Excuse me a second. I'm a bit distracted by that. It doesn't look like quite the best move that my opponent's played there. We'll see in a second. The other way to play is with knight c6, bishop f5 to stop the e4 advance at all. So I've gone for this kind of hacky system where you try to swap off white's bishop on g2 early on. But this knight e1 move is really weird. So even though I'm kind of behind on development, behind on space, haven't really followed any of the general principles, I'm going to launch an attack with just a couple of pieces to see what happens. My opponent's run into a little bit of an issue, I think, on his h2 square. He's played a clever move, bishop f3, hoping that I would take his rook on f1, and then he would take on g4, and he would win two pieces for a rook. But his weird setup with bishop d2 and knight e1 means that he's left the d4 pawn undefended. So I've picked up a pawn early on, which is probably not what my opponent was hoping for. And now I have to say his position is just a little bit dubious. I've got that extra pawn. It's not a great start by Lionel Spoon. Things have gone wrong early on. I have a feeling that we'll get him back for a second game because he's lost his trump card, his big bishop, and a pawn as well. And I could just play bishop h3 here, and that would probably be almost end of game. But that's not the style we're going for today, so I'm going to keep the attack rolling instead. I'm going to play f5, try to bring the rook into it. I would love to have my knight sitting on e5 at the moment, but he's just a little bit too far away from that. I will try to bring that knight to e5 or to d4 via the c6 square. So here we are, we're in, which is good. In just any moment now, it says trump card, it's orange and lumpy. You can never have too much political humor in my Banter Blitz. So, 95, good move actually, I think this one. Threatening knight f4, which puts my queen under annoying pressure. So I like that move actually, that was quite good. I'm going to play knight e5. And now things get complicated because the pawn on e7 is on. Got the queen on d3's on. He's still got this knight f4 idea, trapping my queen, but at the same time I've got a knight f3 idea, taking control of the light square, so it's getting tricky. Luckily I've got an extra minute on the clock and a coffee. So a tough situation. I don't really see where he's going to put that queen. He's taken the pawn. Frankly speaking, I think this was a mistake. I think this was a mistake because he's got material equality, but now the queen's on, the knight's on prise. Who was it? Was it Cheers? It was 11, I think. Was it 11 who used to tell me, or maybe it was Ears who told me, I kept saying on pre, and they kept telling me in Banter Blitz, rhymes with cheese, on prise. Never forget that. Down to under 30 seconds now, Lionel Spoon. The queen's on prise, the knight's on prise, but the big threat is just knight f3 check. Having said that, I don't know if I want to do it here. Because after takes, bishop takes d4, there's no checkmate anymore. He is threatening the b7 pawn. I think well, yes. What's the right move here? I know what the right move is, but what's the move for today? Apparently, Ears tells me it was old timer. Not 11, not Ears, but old timer. I forgot all about him. Would you believe it? Okay. Now, I've got an extra piece. My king has gone for a little walk. My opponent is desperately low on time now. Knight f3 is a big threat. I would play f4 if I was him. f4 looks like a dangerous move. He's going to run out of time. 4 seconds. Oh, he's played f4. Well done. I think that was indeed the right move. Actually makes me think a bit. It's not the move I wanted to see, to be honest. Now, I know what the right move is. Again, the right move is knight f7, but I'm just too tempted. I'm going to take on c4. And he's done the right thing. You can see he is just pounding through now. He's playing very well, keeping that attack going. He's going to play queen c6 check now if he's smart. There we go. Good. And he's going to take that knight off on c4. So he's come back into the game. 2 seconds. Ooh! Almost ran out of time there. Now, I'm going to hide my king on h6. He's got 4 seconds left. And now I've got this bishop e2 move. Oh no, it was going so well. Lionel Spoon drops his queen right at the end. And Mr. Cutlery himself goes down. Thank you for the game, Lionel Spoon. That was a good one. Really off on the wrong foot early on there in that Fiend Shadow variation, but perhaps we'll have a second one going through. So a good start for me. Now, throughout my long, very long Banter Blitz career, I have been well known amongst the Banter Blitz Grandmasters as one of the easiest to beat. I like to play in risky fashion. I like to have a good time. I like to take on the challenges. And perhaps I'm just weaker than the others. I don't know. But I've lost quite a few in my time. Usually not more than one per session. And I've had a few clean sweeps, but not too many. So we'll see how things finish. It's always been fun. Probably the most painful, in terms of the scorecard, the most painful Banter Blitz I had was actually when Ronan came on to the show and Banter Blitzed against me and even got his own commentary going at the same time on my Banter Blitz, no less. He's destroyed me 2-0 in our little mini match. So that was extremely painful. That was the worst one that I had. What on earth what is going on with your rating? I've played Ears, I don't know how many times, at least a dozen times on Banter Blitz, I would say. And I can assure you that while he has definitely improved throughout our sessions, he is not a 3100 player. I have no idea what's going on. He's not a 3100 player. I'm sorry to say. But maybe a 2100 player. Maybe a 2100 player. Oh, well, we've had some great games. That's good. Oh, I should have made this a rated game. Why didn't we make this one rated? That would have been good. I haven't spoken about this game at all. I've actually won a pawn while we've been chatting. One of us perhaps more than the others here. I've won a pawn. I've got a really sort of strange setup. I've played something very similar to, I don't even know what you call it, the Owens defense, I think, with 1b6. But it's just, I mean, the most famous book on this opening was actually just called it Play 1b6. It was written by a very creative French grandmaster, Christian Bauer. And he didn't call it the Owens, he just said Play 1b6. Poor Ears has just played, unfortunately for him, one of the worst moves he could play on the board, the natural Queen d2. It was actually taking away the only safe retreat square for his knight, because the c1 square doesn't help him because his rook on a1 will then be on prise. So that's really bad luck. Actually, when Ears and I play, he usually plays very well, very sensible chess, very principled chess, and then he just plays moves that look natural, but for some bizarre, unlucky tactical reason are just bad. And I always feel sorry for him because it sounds like a cop-out, but he has extraordinarily bad luck when he plays against me. Anyway, what I'm going to do, though, is I want to sacrifice my queen. I really want to sacrifice my queen. So how am I going to do that? Yeah, I'll do it like this, knight a5. So I want to get a queen sack going. So here we go. So knight b3. No, Ears, you got to play knight b3 if you want to win my queen. You got to play knight b3. Now, unfortunately, I don't even need to sack my queen, but I will. I'll find another way to sack it. So here we go. So knight b3 wins the queen. Knight b3 wins the queen. Knight d3 also wins the queen, in fact. We'll get the queen here. No, you have to win my queen. Okay, I'm trying desperately to sacrifice it. I'll have another go at sacrificing it. Here we go. Knight d3 now will win the queen. Let's see. There we go. All right. So the queen has been sacrificed. That's good. So now we're into a real game. And that was a genuine sacrifice. Oh, castle here. Now we've got a real game. So it's 2 rooks for the queen. Actually, I might even still be up on material, bizarrely, because I took a few pawns along the way. But definitely Ears is back in it now. A little bit of karma for him, perhaps. Still has some problems that he's got to deal with on his king side. So I've just castled. I'm getting ready to launch the king side assault. I don't plan on moving my d pawn this whole game. We'll see whether I can keep that up, but my plan is not to move it at all. In fact, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start this attack. I'm going to sacrifice 2 pawns potentially. We'll see if I get the chance to actually sacrifice both of them. Knight d3 was a good move by Ears. I'll play bishop d3. I'll keep that bishop and I'll let him take the pawn on f5, which I assume he will take. Here we go, and I'll play h3. So I've only got 4 pieces left, but they are all shooting lasers towards Black's king side. Not a bad attack against a 3100. Yeah, it's funny. Now. Things get interesting. I'll play rook g8. I expect queen to d4. There we go, queen to d4. And what am I going to do now? I'll play rook to h5 to hold up his c5 ideas and also prepare the little move e5. We're both under a minute now, so I should be a little bit careful. He's played a little bit of a strange move, to be honest. I'll play rook to e5 now. That knight probably doesn't belong there. And I probably should have just taken it off, but that's okay. Now his bishop on e2 is a bit loose. He's doing quite well. Down to 20 seconds, he's definitely still in it. Okay, so now my bishop will go to c5, which is the square it really belongs on. Queen to f1, okay, so rook goes to h8 now. Knight goes back to d3, that's quite a good move actually by him. I'll put that rook on e3. Now he'll get my c5 bishop. He's still got some back rank issues though, that's probably going to hurt him the most at the moment. I need to put this rook somewhere a bit safer. I'll put it up here. Now that rook's coming to e5, which will probably win the game now, I think. Yeah, let me take. I don't really want to take. He's done so well. I don't want to take. We'll play this one out. Yep. Still doing it. Rook goes to a3. He's playing really well now. Queen goes to b2. I'll put that rook on e3. He can do a check if he wants it. There's the check. Maybe another one. Yep, here's another check. I can hide away over here. And maybe hide on c3. Not much time left now. He's just going to have to move back and forward here, I think. Oh no, he's lost on time. Ooh! Just before I got to play my big trick, which was rook takes g3, h takes g3, h2, and I get a queen out of nowhere. Man, that was a good game. That was probably one of our best games. I hope that you can take that improvement. I don't know how long we've played, probably over a year, but to say that you've definitely improved from start to finish, all the way to 3100, and you're definitely playing much better tactically than when we started. So I hope you can take that away now, my old friend. Take those new tactical skills to your club and demolish them. Just don't sacrifice your queen as often as I do. But I've enjoyed that one. Thanks, Ears. That was a good one. All right. Tactical Towel. Oh, man, I should have been able to pronounce that. Wow, nice one. That was a good game, Ears. I really like that one. That was a great one. Okay. Tactical Towel, come on, buddy. Let's do this. Let's do this. Did I get points for that game? Did I get rating points? 3100. I want an explanation, Ears. I want an explanation. Give my opponent a bit more time because he was a little bit slow. All right, so I'm going to play the London system against Tactical Towel, because with a name like Tactical Towel, obviously I can't risk too much. And I'm going to play a very common setup. And now White should just play nice and calmly, knight f3, maybe put the knight on e5, put the bishop on e2, rook on c1. But I'm going to go a bit crazy because it is, for those of you just joining in, it is the very last Banter Blitz that I will do on ICC, and I want to have a little bit of fun. So we're going to have a little bit of fun today, I hope. And you can see that I've decided to go pretty well, just go nuts on the king side here. There's no reason for this, except that I will want to. So we'll see how this goes. right. Now, there's some danger for my opponent here because there are a few pins happening. He's got to be a little bit careful. Got pins potentially on c-file. I've got this pin here on the diagonal. I've also got maybe bishop h3, another pin happening there. In fact, I might do that one. So I quite like my position, to be honest. I don't plan on castling in this game. I just plan on throwing all the pieces forward, and let's see what happens. Good move by my opponent. Wanted to get rid of that pressure on the what's that file called? C file. Yeah, on the C file. He's done a good job there. No lawnmowers today, guys. Remember that Banter Blitz when I had the guy with the lawnmower right outside the window and I had no headphones? Classic Smerdon Banter Blitz, that one. That's why they pay me the big bucks. Yeah, so ICC got in touch with me about Banter Blitz really a long time ago now, I have to say. And they were the first. They were really the first to come up with this novel idea. It's now been taken on board by a zillion different chess websites, but they were the first to come up with this idea of bringing their presenters, bringing the grandmasters to their club members and allowing them to play one-on-one, allowing them to get to know and get to interact. The grandmasters have a chance to beat them. I thought it was a fantastic idea, really fantastic. And they were the first, so they are the originals. But all good things must come to an end. A bit like my position from the looks of things. What have I done here to this? I don't quite like what I've done to this. Yeah, my position is just a little bit uncomfortable here. My time's a little bit uncomfortable. Ears reminds me, of course, there was also that episode with the fire alarm. I forgot about that one too. Another classic. All right, okay, I'm going to take on f6. I'm going to give up the tension. Which I didn't really want to do, but I couldn't find a solution to my problem. And now I'm going to play, this was the whole idea, so I'm going, oh, it's a stupid idea though. My idea was to play d5, but I just realized that it's kind of a dumb one because he's got this move c4, and then I take an e6, but he hasn't done that. What he's done instead is, what's he done? He's dropped the exchange, I think. He's dropped the exchange. It's actually not a bad exchange stack, to be honest. My idea was that I thought this couldn't be any good for him, but actually it's not that bad. He's got pretty decent compensation. So he's come out of this, all things considered, he's come out of this pretty well, I would say. Tactical towel. Should just play the calm rook d8 here, and things are not too bad for him. So we'll see what he does. If he doesn't do that, things might get a bit tricky. I desperately need to get a blockading square, so that's why I played that strange move e4 that seems to give him a powerful pawn, but it creates this outpost that I desperately needed. And to be honest, he could actually consider about throwing in a second exchange sacrifice here and taking that knight. Moving Dutchman is thinking about playing me. Well, we can't have that. We want you playing. Get on board. Get on board with the final Banter Blitz. All right, time to go a bit nuts. Going to play b4. Come on, Dutchman. I lived in the Netherlands for how long? Would only be fair for you to join. He's got great compensation, my opponent here. 2 bishops and a pawn for the exchange. I've got this great knight, which is keeping me going. My h6 pawn is critically weak. He's got these connected pass pawns that at the moment I'm sort of managing to hold off, but it's a very complicated position. That move looks rubbish. What is that? I don't think he should have done that. He just gave me that pawn for free. What's his idea? Bishop g6, or No, I don't understand. I don't understand the point of that move. I think he's maybe made an error of judgment there. Ooh, he's going to fall for my trap. Rook h1, pow! And I think mate is now inevitable. Oh, that's bad luck. Tactical Tower played a great game. Really nice. Really nice. Just fell for a little trick at the end, but thanks for that. Really, the exchange sack. Yeah, sack might be a little bit of a friendly term for it. I think Tactical Tower might have popped that exchange. But anyway, came back and got some pretty good compensation. We had some great games here. All right. Next one. Let's play a birds opening against the samurai from the Seychelles. Great. All right. We're going to go for a birds. Birds opening is considered generally by everyone to be complete rubbish, but was played as recently as last week, actually, by none other than Alexander Grischuk. Alexander Grischuk, former 2800 player, now is slumming it around 2770. He played it against... Can't remember. Was it Wesley? I think he played it against Wesley So in the Sinkfield Cup. And he had a draw. Quite a decent position. Nothing too wrong with it. He didn't play it like this. He played it in a traditional bird fashion. And what I mean by that is that he played f4, e3, knight, f3, but then didn't play this d4, c3 Stonewall stuff that I'm doing. He played b3, bishop b2, traditional bird style, got a lot of pressure going on the e5 square. But it can't be a good opening. Generally speaking, it's considered one of the worst starting moves you can come up with. There are worse ones. There are worse starting moves. f3 is worse for sure. It's better than h3 or h4. It's probably better than b4 or a4 or a3. One a3 with which I have a 650 rating performance if you check my games in the database with 1a3. And it's definitely better than the worst move of all. The very worst move you can play on your first move is 1g4, the Grob, which is a glorious opening and utter rubbish. All right. So my opponent has gone for the light squares. I have gone for the dark squares. I've almost got every pawn on a dark square. But I got plans now. I got plans. A lot of my plans are going to involve a kingside pawn storm, which I am going to start right about now. He's not going to sack, surely. With a name like Samurai, maybe he will. He's thinking about the sack. Sack's really not good here. This sack on g4 generally doesn't work once white's played a move like f4. He's got too much breathing space. He can bring his pieces around to defend. So, for instance, knight takes pawn, pawn takes knight, bishop takes pawn. I could just play the move rook f2, rook to g2. Nothing to worry about. So he's wasting precious time here. He's got to move that bishop back. I know you don't want to, Samurai, but we all have to do things we don't want to do, like stopping Banter Blitz, for example. Come on. Oh, he's done it. Wowee. Wowee, he's done it well. As I said, I think history will show that move to be a mistake. Yeah, rook f2 is probably the easiest way. Bit of a shame because I wanted to play very aggressive, burn your bridges, all for blood and glory type chess today on Banter Blitz, and my opponent seems to be doing more of that than me, to be honest, the way that he's played. So well done to Samurai for that. Unfortunately, at some point, the Grandmaster in me takes over the coffeehouse schoolboy in me and says, let's just play the right, correct moves to win, which is what I've started to do here, which is a little bit sad, but So be it. And yeah, Samurai calls it a day there because he's a piece down and the attack is coming, but it's from me on the king side. So thanks for the game, Samurai. I got a chance to try out the birds at least, and I guess I was rewarded for a somewhat dodgy opening there. Knight takes g4, such a tempting move, but not the right one. Not the right one. Where are we? Okay, we're back. We're back. That was quick. Aiganaya from Great Britain. Aiganaya. Let's try the King's Indian again. Actually, generally speaking, I don't play many King's Indians in Banter Blitz, but we'll play it again. Oh, we're going to get the Fiend Shadow variation again. I'll play what I played before just because it'd be nice to get a little bit of consistency for once in my game. So the Queen goes to a5. d5 is the standard move. No, actually, what's the standard move? It's not that. It's something else, but I can't remember what. In fact, I think this move's not meant to be very good, but I can't remember why. Can't remember why not. Why not? I can't remember. Oh, I can't remember what I'm supposed to do. What am I supposed to do? I've completely forgotten what I'm supposed to do here. It's not takes because this is everything that white wants in the Fiend Shadow variation. So what was it? Oh well, it's a problem for another day. I simply can't remember. So now we just have to play chess and see what happens. Aiganaya way up on the clock. I've played a dodgy move there. b5, but I needed to make him think because it was clear that my opponent was, in theory, because he was blitzing out, he had more time than what he started with there. And I wanted to just change the nature of the game. Sometimes playing a weak move, if it changes the flow of a game, particularly if your opponent seems to know what he's doing and he's feeling very comfortable and under control, is the right practical decision, even though engines will disagree. You can see here I've gained 40 seconds on the clock by this weak move. I'm actually writing a book at the moment, my last chance today to spruik something. I'm writing a book on swindles, chess swindles, tricks and traps, which will come out probably next year. And in there, I talk quite a lot about this practical concept of playing dodgy moves with the idea of changing the flow of a game, changing a nature, unsettling your opponent, which is what I've tried to do here, and reasonably successfully, I have to say, because I have to be pretty happy with how this has turned out. My opponent should have tried to make better use of that c6 square. So I think the move knight d4 was the best move after I played this b5 move, making this huge hole for him on c6. You can see now this massive hole sitting on c6, but he can't get a knight there anymore. So that's lucky for me. Meanwhile, swapping one pair of pieces has definitely eased the congestion in my position. And suddenly my bishops are looking quite okay. I'll get one that'll come round to a6. I still have many things I need to be careful of in this game, but overall, this recent turn of events has been, I would say, in my favor. Now, b3 is kind of a tempting move here. Very tempting, b3. I'm not sure. It's not right, but since when has that stopped me? I do want to play it. Okay, let's play b3. Let's play it. He took it. Well, of course he was going to take it. And now, where does that queen go? My gut feeling is to put it on b5. And you might think, well, why would you put it there? Because it allows this knight d4, which is indeed what my opponent's played. Well, it's only based on this one tactical trick, which is that I have this move knight takes b3 now. My opponent's played the right thing. He's put the queen on a4. And now my idea, he's seen it all, he's doing very well, and now my idea was just to play this move bishop d7. And the reason for that is because I want the exchange to happen on my terms. He has no choice but to take now. And this is probably the move that he missed. He's been playing very well, Eigeneier, the one egg, but he's just missed this little move, and this little move is a bit of a killer because now I'm going to win a pawn, but I have to work out the best way to win it. I think I'll win it by putting the knight on d4. Got to watch my time as well. So I am going to win a pawn. It's not the end of the world for my opponent because he still has the 2 bishops, which is a nice trump card. He's also going to potentially trap my knight if I'm not careful here. We'll see what happens with that. Bishop h6 here. Interesting move. I'll play my rook to c8. I'm going to take that pawn, but I'm just waiting. Like, I don't need to take that pawn just yet, and there might be something to be said for taking it with the bishop if I can. So I'm just holding off for the moment. Notice that he can't play a move like rook e1 because I'll actually play knight c2. So this is one of those positions where, as they like to say, the threat is stronger than the execution. He can also not play rook e3 because of knight to f5. So there's all sorts of reasons to just delay taking e2 just for a moment. It's also making him think. You can see the time situation in this game has totally changed. I realize that I'm... these guys... I hadn't been following the chat for a while. These guys are having a lot of fun at my expense when I told them that I was writing a book. David Smerdon's weakest moves. They want... they think that'd make a great one. Even worse, Smurf chess, where the diagrams are all blue and fuzzy, they say. It's just classic. Yeah, I'm going to miss you guys. All right, so I'm going to take that pawn now. And unfortunately for my opponent, I've timed this really quite well because the bishop on h6 is on prise. He's going to fall now. He is going to pick up this pawn, which is useful, but he's missed one more little trick, which is that I now can play rook to c1 check. He's desperately trying to keep this going, but checkmate follows. So it all sort of fell apart there. I was spurred on, motivated by this wicked bullying I was receiving in the chat window. I don't think there's actually been a book, David Smerdon's Weakest Moves. A book on weakest moves. Could be a winner. If anyone can pull it off, guys, I think you'll all agree, it's me. There was actually a book by a friend of mine, a very strong French grandmaster called Romain Edouard. He wrote a book which was, it had some generic name about improving your chess or learn from your mistakes or something like that. But it was essentially it was just all of his terrible games that he'd played with all of his big blunders put into an instructional guide. But that's the closest I can think of. But perhaps we can do better and come up with a book that is really about just one player's terrible moves. Okay, speaking of terrible moves, h4, move 4 against high arm. Completely rubbishy, but it served its purpose. It had one purpose, which was to provoke a weakness in black's position. We got a small weakness, nothing too special here. Move f6, which then went to f5, and we've actually ended up in a regular sort of Stonewall Dutch type thing. So everything okay for the moment. Oof, you guys can't see it, but I picked up my f pawn to play f3 and pulled back just in time because bishop takes h4 check would have been extraordinarily embarrassing. So luckily managed to avoid that. Yeah, that's a bad sign. My position now is equal, I would say. My opponent's played this pretty well, and I don't have any advantage whatsoever. I have that nice bishop, but he's got the space advantage. Oh my good lord. Holy schmoly. Yeah. Well. Unbelievable. Just popped the exchange for nothing. All right. Lost. The guys are still having plenty of fun with book titles in the chat. Meanwhile, I am not having much fun here. I am not having much fun. This is bad. 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 All right. What am I down? Just the exchange. Just the exchange. It's an endgame. I have no compensation, but I have one trump card. I have this bishop, this monster bishop. This monster bishop sitting on e5 is the only thing in my favor. I don't know whether I can actually make enough of it to keep me in this game, but we will see. He's going to play a5 now, I think. Yes. We are not happy with this position. We are not happy at all. Trying to see if there's any hope at all. Can't see any. No, it just looks lost. All right. Well, it's not the first lost position I've had on Banter Blitz. I must have had hundreds by now. So, happily going to try to find a way out of this. At least I have the monster bishop. The monster bishop is good. The monster bishop makes me happy. The time situation is undesirable, but that's okay. We can't have everything or anything, as the case may be. What now? Rook h4, perhaps. Here we go. Bishop a6 takes. Now what? Jeez, this is bad. This is really bad. Eesh. Whew. I hate my position. What have I got time-wise? 51 seconds? Great. Just what I need. Yeah, he's playing correctly, unfortunately for me. He's playing very well. Yeah, I have to... Jeez. 43 seconds. Yes. 33 seconds. Oh, this position is so depressing. It's so depressing. Like, I'm just going to have to move back and forward and hope for the best now. Oh, there's the move that I didn't expect. Takes. Well, I can push it, I guess. I can play like this. Still very much lost. but, well, what to do? 21 seconds. I wonder if my opponent will take a draw. My guess is probably not. I wouldn't take a draw if I was him. "19 seconds. Oh, he's playing for the win. He's playing for the win. As he should. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. How much time have I got? No time, no time. He's gonna win it, I think. I think he's gonna do it. And it'll be a deserving win if he gets it. Oh, checkmate! Not checkmate. 43 seconds high on. Oh. Where's the draw button? Draw. Oh, threefold repetition. Wow, we were. Ion, what are you doing? Why? I don't understand it. Why rookie, not rookie forecheck here? I had some tricks, it's true, after rookie forecheck. The idea was king d6, rook takes e3, rook b2, trying to bring that rook around for some tricks, but felt like it was only tricks. Anyway, I'll take that draw. My God, that was a close one. What a game. What a game. All right, thanks for that, Hyan. So there you go, one draw. I've lost my 100% record, and that was a fun one. I enjoyed that one, sort of. At least I had a nice bishop. Okay, so we're going to now transpose into some sort of something. I don't exactly know what this is. He's gone for a London. It looks like Aslan 777 wants. He wanted a London system. He didn't quite get his London system. We can see it's not exactly what he had in mind. Because typically speaking, you wouldn't want to take back on d4 this way. So he might not be entirely happy with this position. I guess he wants to play bishop c4, and his claim will be that everything's okay, but we'll see about that. Right, I'll play knight d5. Whew, that was an exciting one, that last one. It was a big one. All right, so now bishop b5 check is actually a bit annoying for me. I didn't think this through. He probably needs to play this move. No, he's gone for something else. He's gone for... might also be quite a decent move. I'm just a little bit awkwardly coordinated at the moment. Yeah, he's got all these threats of e4, bishop b5. He's gone for bishop b5. Yeah, it's a slightly uncomfortable position for me all of a sudden. I have the advantage that I can take back with the pawn, and I'll bring my king to d7, which will add just a little bit more security to my position, so that'll be good. He'll probably play knight c4 though, and then king d7 might get hit by knight b6 check. So there are still issues for me to deal with. There's the move, knight c4. That's the one I didn't particularly want to see. Didn't particularly want to see that. I could just castle here, but I don't want to. I don't want to, and I've decided today I'm only going to play moves that I want to play. Which is probably not going to work out very well, but we'll see. So the rook's on b8 now, lining up against those pawns. King d7 is what I want to play, and what did I just say? I'm playing moves I want to play. So we'll play king d7. And now, oh, well, this is not the most exciting game in the world, but it's definitely technically correct the way that I'm playing. The rook will go to b5, I'll double the rooks, I'll move the knight, I'll take on b3, I'll win the endgame, and I'll get a polite but soft round of applause from the spectators. But that's not the swashbuckling style that I promised. I saw someone about to get their lawnmower out. Brings back those great memories. So there's rook b5. You can see I've got the two bishops, but probably more important than the two bishops is the fact that my opponent's bishop on g3 is sort of such a horrible piece at the moment. So that makes my life a bit easier. And I think that last move, knight c4, means that b3 is going to drop. Now, here we go. So he's dropped, which is good. And yeah, sort of a technical win now. Like I said, not the most exciting game. Good move there. Knight to a5. Unfortunately, I can just come back. And we have almost exactly the identical position we had a few moves ago, but I have one extra pawn. Yeah, that knight on f3 is also not doing anything. Ah, good. So he brings it back into the game. That's smart. I'll double these rooks. He'll probably put that on c4 now, I guess. Here we go. He's put that on c4. Good. And I'll play rook b4. Ooh, maybe that wasn't so good, actually. Let's see what he does. I'm a bit worried about rook a1 now. He's played b3. b3 allows me... b3 actually traps my knight, which is not what I had anticipated. Right, okay, well then. I'm sacrificing, it seems. This was not the intention. Oh, actually, no, that was a terrible move. I think I've messed this up now. Oh well, we're still in it. But this is not the way this was supposed to go. Oh, he's given me the rook. Oh, an error. I think he's just too low on time. Yeah, okay, so we've lost a little bit of quality from this game, unfortunately. Yeah, these things happen. He's just too low on time, unfortunately. Poor Aslan, too low on time. Couldn't manage all the tactics when you've only got 12 seconds on the clock, which is understandable. But he played quite well. All right. Well, I'm holding on. That game against Haiyan still has been the highlight from a spectator's perspective. In terms of the result, although some of the other ones, including the one against Ears, was just a classic game. All right, so moving Dutchman then. Finally, the Dutchman is back in the action. We haven't played in a long time. He's going to play against me Caruana style from the looks of things with a Petrov defense, and I'm going to play something that hasn't been played that many times against Fabiano Caruana since he took up the Petrov really about 12 months ago. So I'm going to play the 3d4 system, which actually I quite like the 3d4 system. I think it's quite decent. Underrated system. Logically, it seems to make a bit of sense because you do get an extra tempo with the knight in the middle. What? I have no idea what my opponent is doing, but I feel a little bit of concern for his future here. This is typically not the way you would play this variation. So we'll see what he's got up his sleeve now, because, like I said, this is not how it's supposed to go. I'm going to try to make him nervous. Rook E1, Queen H5, come on. Makes him nervous. He wanted desperately to castle. He can't do that now because of mate on H7. He's taken up the challenge. Look at that. What a move. Taken up the challenge there by playing knight takes D4. And that knight can sit back on E6, so that's not a bad move at all. He's got an extra pawn, no question. No question. He can play C6 here, and he'll keep that pawn forever. He's played bishop E6. Oh, that seems very risky to me. Very risky, but maybe he knows what he's doing. I am not so sure. I'm not so sure he knows what he's doing. Maybe he does. Maybe he does. Maybe I'm underestimating him. But look at my development for one pawn. This is the sort of swashbuckling chess that I was talking about. Look at all my pieces smashing through the middle here. I mean, maybe it's all just optical. I don't know. But it looks so good. Look at them all. Everything in the middle. Pow, pow, pow. I still have to find the knockout blow. But gee, they look good. Right. And now what? I've been talking up a storm about how great my position is, but I need a move. I need a move here. Where's my move? He's going to castle if I'm not careful. Ah, damn it. Where's my move? I have no time to calculate a move here. Maybe his position is actually okay. It feels like I should have something big here, but I just can't see it, and I don't have the time to work it out. Don't have the time. Oh my god, look how much time I've got. Alright, I can't calculate it, so I'm just going to take this pawn. We'll see what happens. I love my position, but I hate my time situation. So it's kind of a strange mix here. Knight take D2. Wow! I cannot calculate all this out. Knight G6. This is wild chess now. Really wild. I have no idea what's going on. 43 seconds. That's not great. Knight takes G2. Wow. What have I got now? Still 40 something seconds. And I've got this world's most stupid knight, unfortunately, on H8. I can't seem to find a way to bring him back into the game. So I've won a piece, but I have a dumb knight, and I have no time. And I desperately need to bring that guy back in. How do I bring him back? Need to bring him back into it somehow. Oh, he's going to play G6. Can't do much about that. G6 is going to happen. There we go. There's G6. Takes. Takes 30 seconds. I need to move faster. Somehow we're even on material. I don't know how that happened. Time! Move your king somewhere. 24 seconds. My goodness me. Really need to work on this time thing. "21 seconds. What a game this is turning out to be. This is going to be a classic. 20 seconds. This is classic. Oh, we've had some games moving Dutchman and I, but this one is a real bell ringer. He's just given me that pawn. I think that was probably an error. Oh, down to 20 seconds. I really need to watch that clock. What's the time now? Not much time at all. Oh, good move. He's going to take the h3 square. All right, I have to take that guy now. Try to play this endgame. Don't know how we ended up in an endgame from the opening that we had, but somehow we did. We're here. Crazy. Just crazy. Still in it. Unbelievable game, this one. He's got connected past pawns now to go with everything else that's going on. All right, bring my king in. What is going on now? Oh dear, oh dear. Ah. Where's the auto queen when you want it? It's never there, huh? Oh no, I think he's blown it. I think he's blown it. I think he's blown it. Unbelievable. Oh, woof, 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 woof. Well done, Moving Dutchman. What a game. Made me sweat. Why don't you have a rating of 3,100? I would deserve some points for that one. Man, that was a good game. Well played. I thought I had you. All of my pieces. Queen, 2 rooks, 4 minor pieces, all firing at your king in the middle. You managed to slime your way out with this. Knight takes c2, knight takes e1, knight takes g2. Don't know whether it was sound, but I definitely appreciate that you decided to join us for my last Banter Blitz. You've given us all some entertainment, and you almost took me down as well. Whew, whew, whew. Well, you can have a rest now. Not me, though. I won again. Uts Chips. Uts Chips is not a handle that I have anything funny to say about. I will, however, tell him to get on board. Get on board. Let's do this. Oh, that's a shame. It's probably spent... Didn't expect that last game to go so long, probably. He ducked off to grab some chips. No, we might have missed one here. Maybe we can get Uts Chips. I knew I was going to say that. Uts Chips back. Oh, here we go. He is back. All right, I'll give you a bit more time. Let's get my old Scandinavian back. Love this opening. I wrote a book about it. It's not really spruiking it because I guess you all know that. It's sitting somewhere behind me, I think. Is it? Oh no, it's on the floor, being used. But I get this quite a lot actually on move 3. People playing knight c3 or people playing bishop c4 or something like this. If that happens, I mean, if that happened regularly, then many, many, many more grandmasters would play my opening because black equalizes extremely quickly. Unfortunately, that doesn't happen that often, which is why Grandmasters don't play my opening. But you can see here that I get a fair bit of compensation from the get-go, which is essentially what I wanted. My opponent's gone into a rather early think here. Not sure exactly why. It's a little bit too much thinking for a 3-minute game. And he's conceded the bishop pair now. And he definitely... Yeah, this has not gone really that well for my opponent. Yep, no, this is not what he wanted. We're going to end up in this end game, but an end game where I am pretty happy. Yeah. Well, this is not a swashbuckling game by any means, but I'll take that extra pawn, and I will play this endgame a pawn and a minute ahead. Now, that's actually not a bad move. If I took on f3, he might have had some sneaky tactics there by swapping rooks and playing knight b5. I should not forget my development. I have my bishop still sitting on f8. So I'll try to bring that guy back into the game. That was a decent move there by my opponent as well. Is there any way that I can make this a little bit more exciting, perhaps? Be good. Yeah, let's play a little endgame here. Let's play a little endgame. Give my opponent a chance to get back into the game a little bit. I'm going to play some small dose of positional chess now. So he'll take on e5, I'll swap on c3, then I'll probably put that knight on f3, although I haven't exactly decided yet, because f5 is also tempting. And I'm going to play for pawn structure. But none of this that I just said happened, which is a bit surprising. Oops, don't do that. Okay, so I'll take that knight. He has to take with the pawn because of knight e2 check otherwise. Oh, but he didn't, and we're going to get knight e2 check. It's a little shame, actually. It's a bit of a shame for my opponent. Sorry about that, it's Gypsy. Fell for a little cheapo, and graciously he resigns. Oh, it was a shame. Wasn't meant to happen like that. But so be it. These things happen. Whew. Oh, I can see a4, h5 has just joined the queue. a4, h5 had a smashing victory against me and one of our Banter Blitzes, if I remember. So I'm going to keep my eye out for when he jumps into the queue. All right, 11. Great. Smurfo 11. We have had many a battle in our time. 11 suffers a little bit from time, I have to say. He plays a little bit too slowly. Perhaps he's a little scared off by me. I'm not quite sure. Certainly he's not scared off when it comes to teasing me in the chat window. But he does play a little bit too slowly in our game. So we'll see whether or not he can hold it together. I think I'm going to go a bit nuts today against 11. It's our last battle. We've had many a battle. I'm going to just launch everything. So let's go. Let's send everything up the board. Looking pretty good so far in terms of that strategy. I think we might just keep it going, in fact. Everything going forwards. Here they come. It's a scary sight, isn't it? Boy, yes, going to see this 5 pawns just playing against an opponent. Me, I'm talking about here. He's playing against an opponent, me, who clearly has no respect for opening principles, and yet he has to solve some practical problems at the board. And you can see I've built up this time advantage already. They look very intimidating. King f8. That's not a move I expected. All right. Now he's got a bit of an issue after that move because I'm threatening h6, and if bishop f6, then g5 actually wins a piece. So just like ears, 11 and ears have something in common. They show me a little bit too much respect at the board, I would say, and they often spend a little bit too much time at the same time. That's been my experience over our many banter blitzes. All right, I'm gonna imprison some pieces on this side of the board. I'm gonna imprison some pieces. We've imprisoned the rook, and now I'm tempting him to take with the g pawn and open the g file, and then that would be absolutely fatal for him at the moment. So he's got some issues here. I might actually, because I feel poor. 11 often runs a little bit too short on time when we play against each other. I might actually give him a bit more time. What if I keep going through here? Probably not playing this in the best way, but it's certainly an interesting way to play. I'll give him a bit more time here, just to see. All right, so let's. I can't help myself. I'm going to block it up. Look at that rook on h8. This is a bit funny. It's just a little bit funny, this position. All right. That's a rook. If ever I've seen a piece, that's a rook. All right, king f2. The play will have to be on the queen side here. Gee, it's a weird position, isn't it? I do actually want to break through the middle here at some point. So I don't want to block it up entirely, although I think he would be very happy if I chose to block it up entirely, but I don't really want to do that just yet. It's a funny rook on h8 though. It's a funny rook. In fact, I have a new strategy for this game. Because that rook is basically out of the game, if I can swap off all the pieces, I might actually just be, for all practical purposes, I might just be a rook up. So that's something that I could consider trying to play in that sort of style, which I've done before. I wonder whether I can do that here. Might be a little bit tricky, actually. I'll play rook b1. He'll probably play a4. Oh, sorry, not a4. b5. That rook on h8. Yeah, rook on h8 is a funny one. Yeah, that was a good move, actually. I should not have allowed that. That's a bit silly of me. I should have taken on d5 one move earlier. We'll see what he takes back with. He takes back with the pawn. I think that's the wrong piece, actually. We'll see. I might just be able to come through the middle now. Ooh, he's played a bad move. That's a bit of a shame. He's giving me the c7 pawn. Don't think he meant to do that. That poor rook on h8 is just the deadest dead piece you've ever seen. I'll put that rook back on e7 now. It's done its job. So I've won one pawn. Yeah, poor 11. It's not looking very good now. He's just that rook down, basically. We'll put everything on the e file. Hard to believe he can survive this. Very tempted to try and swap all the pieces and create a nice little fortress over there on the king side. Aha. Alright, so I'll take that knight first. Now, what have we got? Maybe sneaky little trick here to try and put him off. If he's smart, he won't take it. Oh, he's running out of time. I'll give him a bit. Lose on time here. He's done the right move here. He's done the right move. I'll put that bishop on a5. He's playing very well. He's still sticking in it. Holding on for dear life. That rook. That poor, poor, poor rook. And that rook is not going anywhere. Queen c6. I think it's going to run into d5. I haven't calculated it, but my feeling is it should run into d5. It's got queen c5 check, but then knight d4. Ooh, ooh, ooh. He's got to give the check. No, don't lose on time. Give him a bit more time. It's not fair after 11's loyalty to Banter Blitz for so long. For him to lose on time just wouldn't be right. So we won't allow such things to happen. Knight takes, pawn takes. And unfortunately... Oh, he's got a check. Spite check, though. Only a spite check. Queen takes there. Yes. Black offers a draw. I'm not sure he meant to do that. Oh, that poor rook on h8. We'll call that the rook in a box game. Thanks, 11. I've enjoyed our many games over the years, and that one too. Your poor, poor rook. All right. I was a little bit nice there with time, but I'm not sure I'll be the same way against my compatriot, 2 = 1 from Australia. Let's play a Benoni. Benoni is nice and sharp. Favorite of Mikhail Tal. Favorite of Veselin Topalov. Favorite of Volga Gashimov, the young, super talented Azeri grandmaster who unfortunately died far, far too young, and they have the Gashimov Memorial every year. Very strong event held in, I think, Shamkir in Azerbaijan. He was a favorite from playing the Benoni as well. But in days past, then we're talking about Tal, Bronstein, these sort of players who would play the Benoni from time to time. Other players who played the King's Indian would transpose into it, like Kasparov and so forth. But okay, enough chatter. Let's get into it. What have I got here? I want to play the move b5, but I can't quite get it to work yet. My opponent's played, well, he's played what's called the Taimanov system. Played by Mark Taimanov, which is a very dangerous system, putting the pawn on f4 early on, but giving black a chance to attack that pawn early on at the same time. Actually, I'm trying to think. I think I was actually on my last move supposed to play queen e7. But I didn't. But I can play it now. I think this move is okay. The problem is my opponent has there's just a little bit too much pressure on that pawn. Now he can play knight d2. Perhaps he should play knight d2 actually. Yeah, I expect knight d2. He's played e5 now. That's actually rather risky. If it pays off, it'll pay off big for him, but it had better pay off because otherwise his pawn center is going to crumble. So that was a key decision. Because the pawns look impressive, but they had better last there or else. He's taken on d6 now. Ooh. All right, so I'll take it back. No reason to do anything else too tricky at this point in time. Now, in my experience with the Benoni, these positions typically work out quite well for black because black has extremely fast development. But you never know. Now I could, for example, I could play this move knight to e3 here. Actually, maybe that move is the best move here. Knight to e3, knight to e3, knight to e3. Can also win a pawn with bishop takes c3 and queen takes d5, but I don't want that pawn, actually. It's a tricky position. I have so many tempting alternatives. I'm actually going to play something completely different. I'm going to play the move c4. And the reason for that is, if I play bishop f5, he could play bishop d3. So I stop bishop d3. I also give a square for my knight on a6. It can now go to c5. I also threaten queen c5 check and queen b6 check, followed by knight f2. So it's got 3 huge points to it. And it also doesn't have a direct threat, which, as you will find out in my book when I write it, sorry, tuned out for a second. As you'll find out, that can be one of the most annoying things to face. A move that stops all of your main ideas but doesn't have its own threat, particularly if you're in time trouble in a classical game. That's when swindles can happen. Now here I don't need to swindle, and my opponent's been in technically time trouble from the very beginning, so it's almost a perfect opportunity. So poor 2 equals 1. He's got a lot to think about here and not much time to do it. Maybe 60 seconds will help him. We'll give him some time to think about it. So he's come up with a move that's frankly speaking, I don't trust very much. I'm going to play bishop f5, which is also a bit annoying. So he's going to sacrifice the e5 pawn. He's also offered to sacrifice the exchange if I gave a queen check at the moment. But I want everything. I want the whole works. So I presume that he'll put the queen back. I thought that he would actually put it a bit further back. That's all right as well. I'll just take the pawn. My opponent has resigned. Thanks, 2 equals 1. Thanks for the game. Yeah, you might have to go back and check the old YouTube video if you want to see what I was chatting about during our game there. But in this Benoni setup, he played aggressively, but just a little too aggressively. Black's position is cramped, but it has a lot of dynamic potential, so you got to be a little bit cautious in that Taimanov system. So I'm making a pretty slow and steady comeback over the last couple of games since that huge scare against Haiyan. It's been pretty cruisy, but now the big chance for another scare is on board because A4, H5 and I have had some absolute cracking games in our time. Some real fantastic ones that I'm pretty sure A4, H5 has beaten me. Can't remember off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure that's correct. Certainly it feels that way at the very least. So I already don't know what I'm doing. I have this stupid position because he's playing so fast as well. So fast. He seems to know what he's doing. That pawn on h6 is actually a bit annoying. I might end up with an ears style rook there, which would be a bit embarrassing. I really do not want that. Nobody wants that, ears included. What I might do is actually, I'm a bit scared. I'm happy to admit that I'm a bit scared here. So what I might do is I might actually try and lock the position up a bit. And it looks like I actually want to sacrifice that pawn as well. I want to sacrifice one pawn to get some play. So let's see what he does now. Probably he'll play rook b1. I don't know if I've done this right. Ooh, that's an interesting move. That's a very interesting move. I did not expect that move. I'm happy to admit I did not expect that move at all. Wow. Wowie. Gee, that's a good one. Man, A4, H5, he always makes my life difficult. Gee, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? All right, I'll take it off. He's also fast. Look how fast he is. So I don't have a whole lot going for me here in this position. I'm down 1, 2, 3, 4. How many pawns am I down? He's got 7. I've got 5. So I'm down 2. He can take another one on a7 here. What a weird position. This is strange. He's gone to b4. I find that a bit curious, but probably it's quite okay. I'll swap the queens, I think. I'm a little concerned about this position, so I'll get those queens off. And I'm going to hope that my 2 bishops are going to be enough in this endgame. What's he done? He wants this knight d6 check, does he? Yeah, he wants knight d6 check, which would really upset me. Gee, this is a tough position. I don't like my position at all. Oh, shoot. Just played a terrible move. Ah, horrible move. Knight takes b6 is just killing me now. Unbelievably bad move. Unbelievably bad move. All right, so how many pawns down am I now? 3 pawns down. Well, that's a lot. 3 pawns down. Okay. Right. Is making fun of my rook. He's making fun of my rook. And well might he, actually, because it is a shocking piece. Desperately going to try and get at least one pawn out of this. I'm down a minute on the clock. So this is not gone well. He's got a bishop check here if he wants it. He's going to play that bishop check. That's all right. And yet, despite all of this, I am still quietly confident in my position. I have tricks. I still have tricks. And tricks are good. I like tricks. Wow, castle queenside. Did I miss that? Yes, I did. Yes, I did. Rook b4. Try to keep me in it. 39 seconds. 2 pawns down, 1 minute down. Sounds quite reasonable to me. Check to your king. My poor opponent has walked into a mating net. You would not believe it. Poor a4 h5. You would not believe it. Can he get out of it? I don't think he can. Can he? Oh. Unbelievable. He's still alive. I thought he had to resign. He's still going. He's holding on for dear life here. But it might be all too little too late, I think. I suspect. "22 seconds to find the checkmate if there is one. 18 seconds. A piece for 2 pawns up. 19 seconds. Whew. Ah. 17 seconds. Come on. He's attacking me now. Oh. Whew. Right on. How do you like that, rook ears? Didn't turn out so bad, did it? What a game. a4, h5, fantastic game. We've had some cracking games during this Banter Blitz experience, and I've enjoyed all of them, even the ones where you've kicked my butt. That one you were kicking my butt. You always play with a lot of passion and principle. But I've scraped my way through, so thank you very much for the game. Appreciated it, a4, h5, and for all the games we've had. Wow, 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 wow. That was a good one. All right. Time to regroup. Get back on track against Shriyat from India, who's actually played the Scandinavian, but he hasn't played it my way. You know, I always start with 2 knight f6, but not Shriyat. He's gone for the old queen takes d5 line, which is quite okay, of course. Can lead to some different sort of complications as we're seeing a little bit of here. Yeah, okay, so I'll play f3 now because I want that bishop. And weakening my king has been something that you've noticed from today I am more than happy to do. So I'm going to weaken the king yet again. Now my opponent has got a threat of queen h4 check, which is actually a little bit annoying. It's a little bit annoying. I'll just put the bishop on e3. Yeah, obviously it's slightly uncomfortable, my king side here, but I think I'm going to be able to make it work. Kind of feel like going for a massive, completely unprovoked attack on the king here. Yeah, let's do it. It's the last Banter Blitz. Let's do it. All right, so f4, attacking the knight on h5. We expect knight f6. Oh no, Shriat, no. That's bad luck. Just a little blunder. That's not how we want to win these games. It's a shame. I was preparing for knight f6 g4 and just going nuts. So that's a shame. Maybe Shriat can try to jump back in the queue. Although we're having a huge surge in interest for the last Banter Blitz. Everyone wants to have one last pot shot at me. All right, so we're getting a mixed bag here. Some that I'm cruising through pretty much comfortably, and then other ones are proving to be incredibly difficult, like a4 h5 or high on. All right, so what should we have now? Let's have a French. Now, the French may not seem like the most exciting of openings, but it generally turns out to be quite wild if you play it the way that I play it. I typically choose the sharpest variations available. And my opponent here has actually complied quite nicely because we're going to have the Steinitz variation of the classical French, which is quite sharp. You can see here both sides have already, even though the center is blocked, both sides have already chosen their particular battlegrounds. White preparing to launch everything on the king side, and black has gone pretty much nuts on the queen side. So this is a very typical sort of classical French position. I like these openings, even though you can get smashed pretty badly. For example, often white can play a quick f5. It's actually even possible to play f5 here, and things get super sharp. So it actually feels more like a Sicilian than a calm sort of Frenchy type thing. In fact, Flossie is perhaps even thinking about f5 here. And to be honest, might be quite okay. I'm not even sure what will happen. Instead, it's taken on c5, which is perfectly acceptable, but a little bit quieter. And Flossie spent a little bit too much time. Yeah, the reason is if white doesn't go for it, which is what has happened here, white has played a little bit too conservatively, I would say, then black is structurally very good, and he will put a lot of pressure on the c2 pawn. Here I'm actually going to pick up the exchange as well to boot, but the structure is quite okay. That bishop on c8 looks like it's absolute garbage, but it's nothing like 11's rook on h8. I promise you, that bishop will come back into the game at some point. Sometimes via the b7 square on that diagonal, like you get to play d4, or you put a knight on e4 or something, so it comes into the game. Or you just swap it off. You play a5, bishop a6, which is perhaps the way that I might play it here, and you swap it off that way. So you don't have to worry too much about that bishop in my experience. So my opponent's gone for the attack now. It's a little bit late, I would say, for this attack. And in fact, these knight maneuvers have cost a lot of time. So that knight, knight c3 back to b1 to d2 to f1 to g3, that's quite slow. And in the meantime, you can see that in addition to winning the exchange, my bits are coming. My bits are coming on the king side. Probably has to play queen d2 here, I suspect. No, interesting move, f5. If I take, he's got queen takes d5, which looks very, very sharp. Very, very interesting move, that one. Yeah, okay. You scared me sufficiently for me to shuffle my king across. I'm not entirely sure that I couldn't have taken that, but I believe you. Let's put it that way. I believe you. Okay, so queens come in now. You know, my opponent, I have to say, is playing very well for a position that objectively should be lost. He's definitely making me work for it, so that's something to be admired. I'll take on f5 now. The crowd cheering for Flossie. This makes me a bit nervous. I'll bring that queen back. Now, I've picked up a pawn. He's got all these pieces on the king side. It is all or nothing for Flossie here. All or nothing. I'm hoping for the nothing, quietly. Down to a minute on the clock. It has to be knight h5. I don't know why he's thinking so much about this. It has to be knight h5. Oh, it's knight h4. I like that move less, I have to say, knight h4 than knight h5. Because he's lost his dark squared bishop, and that means he's lost a little bit of control in the dark squares. So I would be trying to hit those dark squares if I was him. And I think he's kind of let me back into this now. He'll play queen g5, but I'll just drop my queen back. I think I'm okay. It's running out of time now. He's running out of time. All right, so he's swapped off the pieces, but I feel that this is not what he wanted to do. You can see my bishop now. It's coming back into the game slowly but surely. He's doing the right thing. He's putting pressure in the middle, but it should not be enough. He's bringing more pieces into the middle. I have to be careful here. Actually, I'm going to give him that pawn. He can have it if he wants it. "19 seconds. Ooh, hello. That's a move I did not expect. What's he going to do after rook b6? I don't know how he's going to defend his knight on f4 as well as his queen. Perhaps he can't. Perhaps he can't. Yeah. Got to play queen c1. Oh, he's found queen c1. Good stuff. Yep. Now that's was the only try, and he found it. So some credit there for sure. However, what's the right move here? Maybe rook d3. And now I've just got one little trick here. Rook takes c3 using the back rank. Oops. Didn't mean to do that, I'm sure. Flossie didn't mean to do that. But it was already lost by that point, I have to say. So, a nice game. A nice game. Thanks, Flossie. You had ears cheering for you. Ears who is threatening vaguely to write a book. Nesmetanov 123, hello. My old friend Nesmetanov, you know what we're going to have here. It has to be f5. It is f5. It is always f5 with this guy. It's always f5 every time we get this. Every time. Every time we get this, and every time he beats me. He never beats me. Let me be clear. He never beats me, but he gets these fantastic positions every time we play. All right, so I'm going to go Nesmetanov style. I'm going to sack the piece for nothing, just for an attack. Let me tell you guys, it makes me sad to say it, but this is the last game. The last game for today. The last game for my Banter Blitz on ICC. Like I said, it's been a career since the very, very start, actually, since they were the first introducer. It's been a great period of time, some great games today as well, by the way. Well done to Hyan, by the way, for that draw. And then this is it. So this is the last one. Kind of makes me a bit sad. I'll be even sadder if I lose, though. Let's hope that doesn't happen. Right, I've decided to take the pawn on e4. I don't think it was a good move, but it's the last game. I'm just going to try. So I took the pawn on e4. Now rook g8 could cause me some consternation. Let's see if my opponent plays it. Rook g8 could really annoy me. He's having a good think about this. A nice game to finish. Nice wild one. White sacks piece. He's got 4 pawns. 3 are connected and passed. Black has a king on d7. White's queen is almost trapped on g6. There's no way I'm letting Nesmetanov lose on time in this game. No way. I don't think for too long, though. Yeah, it's a tough situation. I'd be tempted to play king to d8 if I was him. King to d8 actually looks like a very strong move. What is he thinking about? Come on. No, king to d8 looks good here because it threatens rook to g8, trapping my queen. Instead, the tempting move, of course, and was played, was to play the immediate rook to g8. But I don't think it was the best move. I think it would be better, actually, to delay that. Anyway, this position still looks very, very juicy for him. I can play bishop g4 here, which looks quite okay. There we go, there's bishop to g4. Looks all right. I'll just play queen to e3 here. So I've managed to get my queen safe. I think that move, where was it? Move 10, king d8, that might have really concerned me. Now, threatening bishop takes b7, so he should not forget about this move. Come on, Nesmetanov. We've had so many close games. This might be his best chance yet. A simple move like knight c6 should be the way to go here. You could also consider something slightly more ambitious, like a knight d7. Can't keep giving you time, Nesmetanov. Come on. He's thinking a little bit too much about this. My guess is he's thinking about bishop h6. That's the only move that could require this much thought. Bishop h6. It must be the move that he's thinking of. That's my guess. But yeah, well, at least I guessed what he was doing. There it is. There's bishop to h6. Righto. Okay, so it takes now knight takes e4, forced. Queen comes back to e3. Now rook to e8 is probably the move that he was thinking about here as well, and it seems quite reasonable to me. So we expect rook to e8. In fact, I think that's the best move here, rook to e8. Let's see what happens. Wow, interesting, but probably bad, I think. Opponent's Smedonov's gone a little bit nuts there, I think. Let's see. Queen g5 check. Can he hold it together? Rook e7. He's going to run out of time, isn't he? Rook e7, there we go. And now the move that perhaps he missed. He probably saw this far, and then I'm afraid he might have missed the move f3. And suddenly everything is holding. And that's bad news for my opponent. He's got to find a square for that bishop. I couldn't take his bishop, queen takes g4, because the rook takes e4 check. But now the bishop is threatened, and he hasn't defended it. He has not defended it. I'm not sure. Maybe he missed this move. Queen takes g4. But he's... As always, as Smetonov plays in the most stylish, most aggressive, most ambitious way possible. But it's just falling apart here, I feel. Again, he's trying so hard. You can see he's trying so hard. 93, he's just going for broke now. He's going for it. Is he going? Oh, rook takes. He's gone totally nuts. Totally nuts. But I'm afraid it's not going to be enough. And I'm going to play a slightly boring finish, I'm afraid to say. It doesn't seem a nice reward for his bravery and creativity as always. But Smetonov, it was only fitting that we should have a creative game. All right, well, that's it. Thank you all very much. It was great today. Well done to Hyon for the draw. We had exciting games. We had good games. And we had some good times. Good to see so many of you turn out for the last one as well. It was great. So Banter Blitz, I mean, it's unfortunately, this particular format is probably a dying format. But when it was first introduced by ICC, like I said, it was innovative. It brought the chess community closer together, and I've enjoyed being a part of it. So thank you very much for today, and thanks for all the Banter Blitz sessions that we've had. I look forward to chatting to you offline at some point, online, but off camera on ICC. And yeah, thanks for the memories. See you later.